recent previous regional champion. That's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking for Alexander here.
And I'm sure Davide is probably wanting to go just that one step further. He got top 8 at Gdansk last year. He is going to want to go, maybe go all the way and win the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And bringing out a very cool team here. Like we said, the Annihilate and Gholdengo was present on his previous Dortmund team that was able to take the whole thing. But a little bit of an innovation here, like the Dragonites is being picking up with that loaded ice and scale shot. And then there's usually been some kind of tech move. Scale shot and extreme speed are almost certainly going to be on the loaded ice set. Got Ice Spinner here to be able to get rid of all those pesky terrains, like the psychic terrain from Indeedis that can be set up. The Rillabooms can get you can get rid of their grassy terrains as well. So quite a nice tech here coming out from the Dragonite.
And really cool also to see a flame body instead of vital spirit on that Magmar. So all the redirections from physical attackers now suddenly have that chance to get burned, and no physical attacker enjoys getting burned unless it's an Ursa Luna. So a really nice innovation for this tournament. I think maybe recognizing that Among Us usage maybe not quite as high as it used to be, so he can maybe just forego that and use something more suited to the physical meta.
And it's going to benefit him a lot more in this matchup at least, because there's, well, I was going to say there's no way to sleep. Yes, there is. There's a Sneasler. There is a Sneasler.
Yes.
But obviously burning a Sneasler as you take the Dire Claw, if you get put to sleep but you also burn the Sneasler, that might be beneficial here. So yeah, we've seen this team of 6 paired together quite commonly. It's just a couple of different choices. Are you Terra Dragon on the Dragapult to be able to do super powerful damage with Dragon Nuts and maybe an Outrage, or do you opt for that Ghost Terra Blast so that you have a more consistent Ghost option than the Phantom Force where you have to take 2 turns to be able to attack? And it seems like Alexander has opted for the Ghost one.
Yeah, the Ghost Terra Blast is a really cool option for the Dragapult. Of course, we actually did see Alex Gomez use a Choice Band Dragapult to win NAIC last year, paired with that GM power. But on its own, it still hits really, really hard, and especially in this format where Pokemon don't quite have the base stats as compared to the legendaries, with those really high defenses. All of a sudden, when you're facing a Choice Band Terra Blast Ghost from this Dragapult, it can deal a lot of damage.
Yeah, we've seen somewhat of a shift to Terra Ghost now. Like in this, at least in the start of the regulation, it was always Terra Dragon, because like we said previously, there's not many fairies. Yes, there is a Ninetales on the opposing side of the field in this match, but yes, the fairies are not that prevalent. So being able to go for huge damage with Dragon made sense at the time. But now it seems like because Dragapult was picking up, maybe you want to shift to the Terra Blast, Ghost Terra Blast, so that you can counter opposing Dragapults you might see as well.
Ghost has really good coverage in this game because there aren't that many normal types besides the mouse hold, so you can actually hit a lot of Pokemon for neutral damage. And I think this is a really cool matchup, and we're going to get immediately started. So here we go, a Sneasel and Primarina lead against the Ninetales and the Ursa Luna.
Yeah, it seems like Davide wants to be bulking out that Assault Vest Ursa Luna very, very quickly. We were saying about the Dragapult resisting not many fairies and not many normal types. Well, there's one for each of Davide's side of the field straight away. And yes, you can close combat the Ursa Luna. It will come down to the training of the Sneasler, as if you're going to be faster than Ninetales. You usually are. Sneasler is naturally faster than opposing Ninetales, and when you run the Focus Sash, you're almost certainly as fast as you can possibly be. And there's no Covert Cloak available on that Ninetales. That's sometimes an option that trainers go for, so that if you take a Dire Claw on the Ninetales, you can still for sure get up your Aurora Veil. But there's the Light Clay on this one. Yes, you get a longer amount of Aurora Veil if you get that up, but then that's still a little bit risky in the face of this Sneasler that could very easily just do what it loves to do and click that Dire Claw button.
Dire Claw is just one of the strongest moves in the game. Here we're going to have it immediately onto this Ninetales. Is it going to get a poison?
There we go.
It gets the sleep, and Ninetales now going to take a bit of a nap and not going to get up any Aurora Veils, any Blizzards. So Ninetales, having a bit of a break. Primarina now taking the time, going for that super effective Hyper Voice onto the Ursa Luna, and the Ursa Luna not going to be enough to take out the Sneasler without the Life Orb. That just goes to show that a bulkier Ursa Luna doesn't quite have that damage output.
But you took less than half from the Hyper Voice, yes, at least, so you'll be able to survive another one of those. And of course, when you have the Assault Vest available on the Ursa Luna, you do have that additional coverage option that trainers opt into usually for Vacuum Wave. And that Sneasler is incredibly low, so I would suspect that it is going to be in range of the Vacuum Wave, potentially coming out from the Ursa Luna. But yeah, that Sleep, putting a stop to the potential Aurora Veil, that would have been a lot less damage coming out on the Ursa Luna. That is now retreating into this Gholdengo.
Gholdengo coming in, a really nice switch in, just making sure it doesn't take any super effective hits. But now it's going to be the Ninetales knocked out from the Dire Claw without being able to do anything this game. So Davide down has lost his first Pokemon, and Primarina now going for the Moonblast. A nice switch in onto this Gholdengo, taking taking it really, really nicely, but gets the special attack drop. So those Naked Rains and those Shadow Balls are now suddenly going to hit a lot weaker.
Yeah, it could have been a bit more damage with the Hyper Voice, but probably trying to cover for any Dragon type switching in that would have been able to resist the Hyper Voice very nicely. And here comes the Ursaluna again. So Davide didn't really make much progress there and had to lose a stage of special attack on his Gholdengo to be able to get that repositioning. And that just shows the power of Diaclaw there, that there could have been Aurora Veil. There could have been so much less damage coming out on Davide's side of the field, but no, we got that sleep immediately, and then that's just 2 Diaclaws, KOs the Ninetales, and Aurora Veil's gone for at least this match. That means that the Ursaluna is definitely going to be in range of at least a close combat. It would have to go for its Terra Water to be able to survive that, but I'm not hopeful that it will be able to survive both of those attacks. But yeah, as previously mentioned, the Vacuum Wave able to pick up that last little bit of damage. I don't think the critical hit mattered there.
Just adding a bit of insult to the injury and getting rid of that Sneasler, which has been so problematic for Davide here. With Gholdengo now going for that nasty plot, just plotting away, trying to offset that special attack drop from the Moonblast, but allowing the Primarine to get another super effective Hyper Voice off onto both the Ursaluna, and neutral here on the Gholdengo doing quite a bit of nice chip, and eventually the Primarina just hasn't taken any damage yet, and you know, Davide really wants to start focusing on just maybe getting rid of that Primarina, but here comes the Dragapult Choice Band Terra Ghost, and this is going to be hitting really hard if any attack it locks into.
Yeah, that's almost certainly going to be the option. The Ghost Terra Blast here, that's easily a knockout on the Gholdengo, and I would suspect it would even be a knockout even if it goes for some kind of defensive Terra as well. Obviously, the Ursaluna definitely in range of Hyper Voice, and we've been seeing that the Primarina is outspeeding that. So there's nothing wrong here with just a Ghost Terrestrialization, go for that Terra Blast into Gholdengo, go for a Hyper Voice, and I'm not really seeing anything that Davide can do to stop that.
Yeah, Alexander is in a really commanding position over here. He's got the speed advantage, he's got the Pokemon advantage. Both his Pokemon just so healthy, and as you called earlier, that Ninetales going to sleep was very unfortunate, because had the Aurora Veil gone up, his Pokemon would have been in a much better position to survive.
Yeah, for sure. It's the Protect's coming out from the Gholdengo here, so going to be able to keep itself safe. But no, it was actually a U-turn coming out from the Dragapult. Nicely done there, catching the Protect on the Gholdengo. It could have just easily been that Terra Blast into the Gholdengo and pick up the knockout, but no, being able to reposition. Now you're not for sure locked into your Terrestrialization or any choice moves from the Dragapult. Get to reposition. Magmar's a very good Pokemon to be able to bring out in the face of a Gholdengo here. It didn't particularly matter what the Primarina went for. It was a Hyper Voice, but it's a protecting Gholdengo.
Yeah, Magmar now able to redirect away any strong attacks away from the Primarina, but of course Primarina is still so healthy at this moment. It's still got its Citrus Berry. In fact, it's taken 0 damage, and now we see Davide's final Pokemon, which is going to be the Magmar, and it's not really going to enjoy facing off against this Primarina. Of course, Davide hasn't gone for a Terra yet, so that is an option that he can use.
Yeah, and it's got the Terra Dragon on the Gholdengo, so that'll be able to resist the Hyper Voice at least. But then if you just go for that prediction and Moonblast the Gholdengo, well then suddenly that's a KO, because it would easily be able to pick up the knockout on a Dragon Gholdengo. I think the special attack drop is going to probably come into play here as well, because maybe at +2 that would have been able to KO the Primarina. Definitely not at +1. Primarina has very good special bulk, so it should be able to survive that attack quite comfortably. So you shouldn't really be able to get a KO on this Primarina here on this turn. Clear Smog is an option for a super effective hit from the Magmar, but that's going to do just a tiny bit of chip damage, really.
Yeah, this is just Magmar now going for that follow me, trying to keep its teammates safe from a potential overheat that's coming off. But the Gholdengo now going for another nasty blow, just trying to boost up its special attack and make sure that it can knock out the Primarina. Now the overheat being redirected into this Magmar does very little damage, and of course Alexander's Magmar is going to get dropped, but that super effective Hyper Voice coming off onto this Magmar, which did not appreciate taking it. Yeah,
that was still very good damage coming out. The Gholdengo is able to recover a little bit each turn with its leftovers, but it's still below half, and even a -2, I would suspect that Magmar on Alexander's side of the field is able to pick up the knockout with that overheat. That kind of forces the Magmar on Davide's side of the field into that follow me once again, and then you just have to contend with this Dragapult. A +3, that's got to be able to KO a Primarina now. Magmar should still be able to shrug that off though, so Magmar should, on Alexander's side of the field, will almost certainly make it through this turn, and then that means that you'll be able to just redirect any Shadow Balls that could have gone into the Dragapult. You'd still go for Make It Rain to do huge damage, but yeah, very brave going for that second nasty spot, but I think that is the only real way that Davide had to get back into this game, so very nicely done to recognize that.
it looks like Davide is contemplating going for that Terror Dragon on his Gholdengo, just making sure it doesn't take really strong neutral hits from the Primarina. Here we go. Is the Gholdengo going for that Terror Dragon, growing an extra dragon head on top of his or the stack of coins on top of his head. But is this going to be enough to clutch out the win for Davide? I think he's still in a really difficult position here.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a protect coming out from Magmar's on Davide's side of the field. Not going for that redirection here, but the redirection is coming out for the follow me on Alexander's Magmar. And that was a Shadow Ball, not a make it rain here, so trying to snipe that Magmar from full HP. But even at +3, you can see the benefit of that Eviolite item. Magmar able to survive even in the yellow. And it was just a Hyper Voice coming out, so very good Dragon Terrestrialization from that Gholdengo, able to take that very comfortably.
Yeah, this is actually a really fantastic play from Davide here, because now this Magmar is so heavily damaged. It looks like at +3, the Gholdengo might actually be able to take the knockout with the Make It Rain, even onto this Magmar that resists the Steel type, because it's just so heavily damaged. And Magmar can keep the Gholdengo safe from any overheats. But of course, the Gholdengo does outspeed the Primarina. So it just comes down to a question of, can he take that double knockout on the Primarina Magmar? And then if the Magmar goes down, the Dragapult is going to be able to knock out the Gholdengo, but he has to get rid of the Magmar first just to make sure that the Gholdengo can get their attack off on the Dragapult in the back.
Yeah, if Davide still has Magmar available to himself when the Dragapult is filled, that is the easiest follow me and KO onto the Dragapult that you can go for there. Very nicely done not to drop the special attack here of the Gholdengo. The protect coming out from the Magmar on Alexander's side of the field this time. And there's the clear smog. Actually, the Magmar outsped the Gholdengo there. Very interesting information. And that's a little bit of chip damage before the Citrus Berry could activate. So that means that would have also almost certainly be able to put that Primarina in range of this +3 Make It Rain now. Yes, that is easily able to pick up a knockout. I'm very, very curious if that would have been able to KO at full HP. And if it wouldn't have done, then the Clear Smog probably wouldn't have KO'd after any Citrus Berry recovery. So very, very crucial there that the Magmar actually outsped the Gholdengo.
Yeah, Magmar naturally is faster than Gholdengo, but a lot of players choose to invest more speed into the Gholdengos and none in their Magmars because it's there for the support. But now all of a sudden, this Dragapult, it's only sort of spread damage, and I'll say spread, but the Dragon Darts can be redirected with a Follow Me, and if it knocks out the Magmar with the Dragon Darts, all of a sudden, it can't hit the Gholdengo, and now it's a question of, can Alexander's Magmar outspeed the Gholdengo? But if it does, it is at -2. The overheat into the Dragon type, even with a critical hit, I think it's actually quite difficult. So this is a really crucial turn.
Yeah, absolutely is for sure. We've saved Terrestrialization right until the end here for Alexander. Of course, going to go for that Terra Ghost on the Dragapult. If he's locked into that Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, that would be able to pick up the knockout on either Pokemon here. But you do have that Follow Me still available that is coming out on Davide's Magmar. That means that the Dragapult, it will outspeed both Pokemon. It's Follow Me all around. Both Magmars going for that redirection here. But Make It Rain can bypass that really easily. And here comes the Terra Blast from the opposing Dragapult. That's going to pick up the knockout on this Magmar. But if this Gholdengo goes for the Make It Rain, that bypasses any Follow Me. And the Dragapult, it probably would have been really close if it was at full HP. If it would have been able to survive just now +2 Make It Rain. But it's taken some chip. This is going to take the double knockout here. And somehow, after a critical hit just to boot, I don't think that really matters. Dragapult is not the bulkiest of Pokemon, but a little bit of chip just coming into play here, and Davide managed to take this game after what was a terrible start.
Oh, fantastically played from Davide. He was down to his final 2 Pokemon, facing off against 2.
And if you don't go to sleep, then you get your Aurora Veil for free.
And it looks like Alexander is going to choose the exact same leads with the Sneasler and the Primarina versus Davide also going for the exact same leads, the Ninetales and the Ursaluna. So maybe you're thinking, oh, that Dark Claw sleep was not that likely to happen. Well, the chances of it happening twice in a row is quite low. So he does want that Aurora Veil. Had he got that Aurora Veil up, he would have had a much easier time.
Yeah, for sure. The Ursaluna is still threatened a bit by the close combat, so maybe you do consider going for that with Alexander's side of the field, because, again, the Diaclaw is unlikely to get that sleep once again. It was very beneficial in that game 1, but you could get absolutely huge damage into this Ursaluna. If you go for the close combat and Hyper Voice, even after the Aurora Veil might be set up, after the close combat, like we are seeing, then it's going to do huge damage to this Ursaluna. It doesn't quite pick up the knockout. Sneezer's not strong enough for that, but a Hyper Voice will easily pick up the knockout from there.
Yeah, the Ursaluna came on, and of course, as you said, not quite sure. The Blizzard now coming off the Ninetales.
Icy Winds.
Oh, sorry, Icy. Oh, that's a really fantastic play. Yes.
Probably not enough to put the Sneasler slower than the Ursaluna, but probably the Primarina slower.
Yeah, it looks like the Blood Moon is just not quite enough to knock out this very bulky Primarina, allowing it to just munch on that citrus berry, get quite a bit of health back, going back into the green now. And, you know, the Sneasel, as you mentioned earlier, is not going to care, but the Hyper Voice now coming off from this Primarina is going to be enough to knock out the Ursaluna. So, you know, not a bad turn there. Of course, he lost Ursaluna, which was has quite a big role on this team, but did manage to get rid of the Citrus Berry on the Primarina and take it down to half health.
Yeah, so a complete switch up coming out in this first turn. And maybe that was what the Ninetales was going for in that first game. Of course, we would have been able to see that, but didn't do anything. The Icy Winds now puts the Sneasler slower than the Ninetales, so sure, you get an Aurora Veil this turn if you do want it. We've seen the Gholdengo come in. It undersped Magmar, so this is not a speedy Gholdengo by any means. We can see its HP is incredibly bulky as well. Does that mean it is able to outspeed a Sneasler after a -1? Like, if you have Icy Wind available on your team, you usually train your Pokemon to be able to get those speed jumps to be able to outspeed Pokemon when they're at -1 speed. Sneasler is the most common Pokemon in the format. I wouldn't be surprised if the Gholdengo is able to outspeed that Pokemon. That means you may not necessarily need to Aurora Veil. It would be still very beneficial here, but that could mean that a Blizzard and a Make It Rain might be able to pick up the knockout on both of these Pokemon. It would be very close on the Primarina. I'd be a bit dubious that would be able to pick up the knockout. That means you could just go for the Aurora Veil and the Nasty Plot here pretty freely if you do want to.
Yeah, Sneasler actually isn't able to hit the Gholdengo at all. And, you know, Alexander recognizing that recalls the Sneasler for a King Gambit, which is a fantastic Pokemon against this Gholdengo. Ninetales now going for that Aurora Veil, just helping out its teammates for the future turns and making sure they take less damage. But Gholdengo now going immediately for the Maker Rain. Not quite enough to knock out either the Primarina and just doing a little bit of chip damage onto this King Gambit. A Primarina now following up with a nice bit of chip onto both the Ninetales and the Gholdengo with that Hyper Voice.
You can see the benefit of that Aurora Veil. That did a small amount of damage after the Leftovers recovery. Gholdengo is actually incredibly healthy still, but that's exactly the Pokemon you want to be facing down an opposing Gholdengo. That King Gambit, a very nice adjustment coming out here for Alexander, because the Ninetales, it's set the Aurora Veil now, but it's not going to be threatening the King Gambit either. So, yeah, the Gholdengo is kind of forced into its defensive terrestrialization here, because a Kowtow Cleave would have probably done huge damage, maybe not quite picked up the knockout because of the Aurora Veil, but definitely won't now with its Terra Dragon.
This Gholdengo once again unleashing its inner dragon. But Ninetales going for that Encore, a fantastic play, just locking the Primarina into a very useless Hyper Voice. Now that the Gholdengo is this Terra Dragon type, it is unafraid of any water type moves coming from this Primarina, and the Terra Dragon is going to also not be affected by it. But it looks like King Gambit maybe trying to predict a switch out from the Ninetales, and look at that. That Hyper Voice did nothing to the Gholdengo.
Yeah, very smart play there, because with the defensive terrestrialization of the dragon, yes, you drop your weakness to Dark, but you did open yourself up to being super effectively hit by Moonblast, but then you put a stop to that by encoring into Hyper Voice. So the Gholdengo was pretty free to go for that Nasty Plot there. The Kowtow Cleave going into the Ninetales, and the Hyper Voice not able to pick up the KO, again showing how crucial that damage reduction from the Aurora Veil can be. The Ninetales is still around here. You can go for an Encore into that King Gambit to stop it from being able to go for Sucker Punches in the future. You've got your Gholdengo nice and set up here, so you can actually do some pretty significant damage to that King Gambit and easily pick up the knockout on that Primarina that also can't protect now that you've gone for the Encore. So lots of benefits to that Encore coming out here. Really, really nicely done, because even if the Primarina switches, nothing really wants to switch in on a +1 Make It Rain now that the King Gambit is already on the field.
Yeah, Ninetales, having done its job now, is going to withdraw for a Magmar, so that's a fantastic Pokemon against this King Gambit. This is also a Flame Body Magmar, so if it goes for the redirection, it has that chance to burn, but Gholdengo now going for that Shadow Ball, recognizing that Primarina cannot protect. Let's just get rid of it before it has the chance to shake off that Encore and then be able to go for those really strong Moonblasts onto the Gholdengo.
That also doesn't drop the special attack by one stage on the Gholdengo as well, so probably thinking that, yes, I could have got some chip onto the King Gambit, but then that reduces the amount of damage I can do to the opposing Pokemon in the back. We know that Sneasel's one of them, with its Focus Sash broken. That's got to still be in range of a +2 Make It Rain very, very easily. And we're going to see the Sneasler join the field once again. So not dropping the special attack just ensures that you can just go for that Make It Rain for the KO. But one of the downsides now of going for Terra Dragon is you can be faked out. So even if you kept your Ghost typing, this would have been a very easily Follow Me and Make It Rain. But now that you've got the Terra Dragon, this is an option for you to be able to go for Fake Out into that Gholdengo, and then maybe set up a Swords Dance with the King Gambit, because you've got to be doing some kind of damage here. We've seen the Kowtow Cleave not do much. We saw the Sucker Punch, again, not really do too much. So there needs to be some kind of offense now to try and break through the screens that were set up from that Ninetales with that Aurora Veil.
Yeah, the Gholdengo, of course, now that it's a Dragon type, can also get hit by the Dire Claw. So actually it looks like the King Gambit is going to withdraw, not wanting to risk getting followed mid and into a flame body, and Dragapult coming in, and really nice switch. Gholdengo going for a protect, just wanting to scout out and burn that turn off fake out, and it looks like the Sneasler did go for an attack onto the Gholdengo. Now I can't read Italian, so I don't know what that was, but either Die Claw or fake out, it's going to get nullified. But the overheat, a really nice switch from this Dragapult, which is now not going to take very much from the overheat, and also means that the Magmar damage is heavily neutralized by that overheat.
Yeah, very, very nicely done there. That King Gambit would have taken a lot of damage. Probably not enough to pick up the KO, but yeah, that's not much damage into the Dragapult. It's probably in range of any attack that the Gholdengo would have wanted to go for anyway, because it is at +2 stages of increased special attack. So the chip doesn't really matter on the Dragapult. So I think that's quite a nice switch in there. And now it can turn on the offense. However, Magmar, like we've said previously, the EVO light makes it incredibly bulky, especially so with an Aurora Veil to back it up. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Magmar is attacked by both Pokemon here, whether that's the Dragon Darts or a Terraghost Terra Blast, and also a close combat / Diaclaw. It might even still be able to survive both of those attacks because it is so incredibly bulky with with that item and the screens.
Yeah, it looks like the Sneasler just going to go for the protect this turn, wanting to maybe bait that Gholdengo into going for that Maker Rain. But Magmar, of course, going for that follow me, wanting to keep its teammates safe. Dragonar's now coming in and does very little to the Magmar, but still quite a bit of damage, almost half. So the following turn, it won't be able to survive a double up from the Sneasler. But now the Gholdengo going for that Maker Rain easily enough to knock out this Dragapult and forces the King Gambit back onto the field. But with the Magmar at -2, it's not really that big of a threat to the King Gambit.
Not particularly, and the Gholdengo now, it's a +1 stages of increased special attack because it has taken that drop for going for that Make It Rain. So the King Gambit's going to be in a reasonable position here, but it has to kind of all down to this King Gambit now, because the Sneasler is probably still in range of even a +1 Make It Rain. So if you go for the Follow Me once again, you can't get Diaclawed on the Gholdengo. That means you are definitely going to be able to get off that attack and do the damage that you need to. But then, at the same time, where is the damage into this King Gambit if you're going for the Make It Rains this turn? Because the Ninetales, that won't do it, and it's incredibly low. It's got to be in range of a Kowtow Cleave now. The Magmar is at -2 stages of special attack, so it's not going to be doing that much damage either. So actually, I wouldn't be surprised if the Magmar ends up switching out to be able to reset its special attack drops, or if the Gholdengo starts to set up once again. Because if you start increasing your special attack, it doesn't really matter about resistances at that point.
No, it doesn't. Looks like the Gholdengo is going to, well, Magmar first goes for that Follow Me, once again keeping its teammates safe. And so we see Sneasler now going for that Diaclaw, maybe trying to fish for some status, but nothing comes out. Make a Rain coming in easily enough to knock out the Sneasler, but does very negligible damage with a critical hit onto the Sneasler. Yep. So that didn't really matter, but does leave the King Gambit very free to get an attack off, or maybe a Swords Dance off. And here we go, we see that Swords Dance. So King Gambit now at +2 attack, looking very, very threatening, and he's going to be able to bypass those Aurora Veils.
Yeah, and I reckon that Kowtow Cleave will KO every single Pokemon remaining on Davide's side of the field, even with an Aurora Veil, because they've taken a lot of chip damage. After the Gholdengo gets a few leftovers recovery, it'll probably be out of range of that. But yeah, Follow Me from the Magmar, going to be able to keep the Gholdengo safe. It does need to nasty plot here, because if you're sacrificing the Magmar to be able to get that, it needs to be able to do some kind of damage to that King Gambit, because otherwise you won't be able to get that knockout.
Yeah, +2 from the King Gambit. Oh! Gets the burn! Oh no, that is very, very bad news for this King Gambit, because suddenly its damage output is halved. And what's more is that with the snow has gone out, so when Ninetales comes back in, it can reset this hail, or reset the snow, and once the Aurora runs out, it can reset it up, and at this stage, might be able to just use that burn damage to slowly whittle away at this King Gambit.
Yeah, that's going to help for sure. That basically puts the King Gambit back at neutral. That's the benefit of running Flame Body over Vital Spirit. We were saying not going to sleep is incredibly useful, but being able to get that status sometimes on the physical attackers is incredibly useful, and that might be game ending here because you've got +3 on your Gholdengo now. Single target Make Rain, that's going to do loads, and now the Sucker Punch definitely can't pick up the knockout. It might have been able to do if it was something like a critical hit into that Gholdengo, bypassing any of the screens. But yeah, that burn, that's really going to put a stop to the amount of damage that King Gambit can do.
Yeah, this King Gambit is a little unfortunate in this game, but Ninetales now on the field, very free to also just encore the King Gambit into the Kowtow Cleave so that it cannot go for the Sucker Punch. And that's what we see the Ninetales go for. So keeping the Gholdengo safe from any priority attacks. And now Gholdengo is going to go for another nasty plot. So this is now a +4 5 Gholdengo, and those Maker Rains are going to hit so hard. But look at that, the Aurora Veil and the burn just paying dividends for this Gholdengo, which is now very nice and safe against this King Gambit.
Yeah, that would have been very close if that would have picked up the knockout. If it didn't get that burn from the flame body, I think it would have just about lived based on the amount of damage it did, and if you double that, Gholdengo just survives. But then, of course, it's definitely in range of Sucker Punch. But then you wouldn't be able to go for that because of that Encore, meaning that the King Gambit is definitely going for this Kowtow Clay. So very smartly done there. Here's a little bit of chip from the Blizzard, and I don't think resistance matters at this point, with a +5 Make It Rain, going to take the knockout on that King Gambit, and Davide Miraglia, once again, is going to win this round 3 in the Gdansk Regional Championship.
Well done, Davide, proving once again why he was the regional champion for Dortmund. Just so skillfully played. That game 1, I'm still in awe of how when his back was